Welcome back to Leading Edge. We just heard an update on the medical side of the COVID-19 pandemic in our area. Someone who's been engaged in this outbreak, it seems, since it's first found its way into our lives is State Representative Haraz Ghanbari, Republican District 3, Ohio House District 3. That's Wood County, if you will. Representative, welcome. Good to see you. Many issues to get to. What are you hearing, first off, from your colleagues down there in Columbus, from your contacts there, about where we are in the coronavirus fight and when we might begin taking steps to reopen the economy?
Well, good to be back with you, Jerry. A little bit of a different setup this time
Yeah.
via Skype, so thanks to the technology. Jerry, this is an issue that leadership at all levels has been engaged in from day one. As far as the economy goes, Speaker of the House, Larry Householder, just this week announced the creation of the Ohio 2020 Economic Recovery Task Force. The Speaker has appointed representatives from throughout the state based geographically. Many of these of my colleagues that are going to be on this task force, many of them are business leaders, business owners, former members of the chamber, a business attorney. So strong bipartisan effort. We want to make sure that as we get through this dip, when we get through the challenges that we're facing right now, we come out on the other side of that stronger. As far as when we will get out of the COVID-19 pandemic, I believe that we need to look at science and data to drive the decisions that we are making. I know Dr. Acton and Governor DeWine and the administration, they are doing their weekly and daily press updates from Columbus. But what I would tell you is we need to make sure that we are following the science and the data behind all of this. Here specifically in Wood County, the county that I represent, I just recently wrapped up a phone call with Wood County Health Commissioner Ben Beatty. We had the first 2 deaths in Wood County this week associated with the COVID-19 pandemic. But I also think it's important to understand the amount of people that we have treated that have recovered from this, that are on the mend. There was a lot of positive stories out there as well. And I think it's really important that we analyze that, because I believe that will help us drive the decision on when we should get the economy back firing on all pistons and strong as it was and stronger on the other end.
In fact, I read where Commissioner Ben Beatty here in Wood County, he said we may not even see a surge, to use the word that is out there. Now, we do know this, there has been a surge in unemployment filings. A lot of people thrown out of work because of the crisis. You're hearing from many of them about filing for unemployment. Is the system, Representative Ghanbari, just overwhelmed? Are payments to the unemployed being unduly delayed?
Thanks for the question, Jerry. Again, I've been remaining in constant contact with the administration on this. Even though we are at a work from home policy right now, I'm on the phone every day with my constituents, answering emails and phone calls. Many of those calls that have been coming in have been specifically on the unemployment issue. The state of Ohio has recently hired in excess of 100 additional call takers through the unemployment line. We understand that there's been some challenges on the bandwidth. Just yesterday, I was on a conference call with the White House. The White House has noted that Ohio is one of a few states that has asked for additional help to help open up that bandwidth, specifically dealing with unemployment. So I'm still encouraging folks to get in and apply for that. If there is a delay with their application, I want your viewers to understand that their unemployment benefits will be retroactive back to their first date of eligibility. Additionally, Jerry, there's been some funds that have been released from the government, from the federal government level, that will augment the state's unemployment benefits. An additional $600 to augment what the state's unemployment benefits are. Again, those benefits will also be retroactive. And I just spoke with the Ohio Department of Jobs and Family Services. They have told me they've received that additional guidance from the U.S. Department of Labor. They are reviewing that guidance as quickly as possible to make sure that we are getting those funds into the hands of Ohioans that need them the most.
We're going to take a break. Let me get this one in before the break. Early on in the pandemic, you authored legislation dealing with first responders, EMTs, for example, and notification to them that they were dealing with a suspected COVID-19 patient. To what purpose, though? I mean, they're still going to provide their services, aren't they? They're still going to, I would think, take utmost precautions, aren't they? So what really would change?
The genesis behind House Bill 563 is to make sure that our first responders who are on the front lines of this battle against the COVID-19 pandemic, if they have treated or transported a patient that is a positive COVID-19 a high index of suspicion or a presumptive positive, we need to make sure that they are taken care of. So a lot of the guidance now, Jerry, is treat every patient as if they are positive COVID-19.
Yeah.
However, the challenge is, my friend, that we do not have enough PPE, personal protective equipment, for our first responders to don that equipment on every single call. So they are being forced to decide, when will they use that equipment? When will they not use that equipment? But more importantly, when they return from those calls, we want to make sure that as they go back to the fire department or the police department or wherever they're returning to, that they do not potentially contaminate their colleagues. We cannot have an entire force of first responders quarantined, because that will not only impact Ohioans, that will impact everyone in all of our communities across the country.
Time out right now. State Representative Haraz Ghanbari, Republican, House District 3, think Wood County, my friends. We're back with more on Leading Edge right after this.